Hey, good evening, guys. It's Joseph here for PrimerusTrade. I'm gonna go ahead and bring you a nightly trade plan. It's gonna be here for PrimerusTrade. It's 2:49 a.m. So I know I'm a little late for you guys here. Uh, it was just I was working out a couple things here and make sure I roll this out for you guys. It's the first time that I do this for you guys. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Okay, and this is hopefully something we could incorporate uh, more regularly into the Primaris Trade Group. So this is for Monday. This is for September 14th. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and look at ES. We're gonna take a look at the ES first. Okay, so let's go to the higher time frames. We're gonna go to the 4-hour chart. Go ahead and do that. And we obviously we start off with the higher time frame just to see we are on the macro picture, the bigger picture, and then we'll drill down into the more smaller time frames, and then furthermore, uh, once you actually look at the levels that we have plotted for you all, then you could use your mean reversion rankles or your smaller time frames to get more precise entries. So without further ado, here's ES. On the 4-hour, we have a down channel. We're hitting a middle Keltner, so we're kind of holding steady. We can go up or down, but from what you can see, what I have drawn here, I think we had a downtrend after we had that dump, and now we're having kind of like a range bound situation, and it looks like we're trying to get back to the top of that range. At least it seems to be that way for slash yes. So let's do the scenarios of what it may look like if we go up or down. Okay, either way. So let's go ahead and take a look at that on our NinjaTrader 8. Okay, and this is what we got on NT8. And let's take this off here for a second. A second here. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. So so what you're seeing here, you're familiar if you're part of the Primaris trade group, you're familiar with our expectation zones. What we have here are when you see the dashed dotted lines, these are, as you know from the trainings, these are previous POCs and pockets of volume from the past week, and they usually align, as you can see here, and make zones that help out as well. And we also have value area box for the previous day. The lime green line is value area high. The yellow line is the point of control. And then you can't really see it here because it lines up with one of our expansion boxes that are part of our trade plans. Um, but this is the value area low. So this is the value area box. Right now, as we're almost approaching London, actually. So um, right now, it looks like we're going higher, but we're gonna do the case for if we go long, right? So this is the perfect example. We broke through a 75% expectation zone, kind of broke through it, wicked off of it, pulled back, and now we got that entry. So I wouldn't have been against an entry here to get long and possibly go for the middle of this range here, which happens to be the 100% expectation zone. Okay, you can see that this is kind of a range that we have going on right here, and we may hit this during London. Okay, so if you're up during London and you see this, I might target 25% of this move and then lock it in. We do have that breakthrough of the expectation zone, the pullback right off of the expectation zone, and now we're moving higher. So if you didn't grab this move already, um, I would most probably target. If I'm looking at London, which we're about to hit in about 6 minutes, then I would go ahead and target this 100% expectation zone. Okay. Now, if we're looking at the more bigger picture up here, we have the expansion box that I've drawn up here, and as you can see, I've drawn it up here for several reasons. We have two touches here, okay, and we also have the 175 expectation zone. and a volume pocket here. And I think that on the macro level, if we come back up here and possibly hit it a third time, see what happens. If we get that far, this would be an interesting decision point, as I would like to call it. Okay. Um, Now let's make the case for going lower. Obviously, when you're going into the NY session, you want to be cognizant of the highs or lows that were put in overnight during the Globex session or the extended trading hours. Um, and play off of that. So just going based off of this, I would want to look for something to come back into the value area box. As you can see, we have value area high and the 50% expectation zone with a volume pocket. So I wouldn't be against coming down, breaking the 75% expectation zone, having a pullback, and then entering on your mean reversion rankos and targeting at least 25% of the move down before you hit value area high. Okay, lock in, possibly break. I would like to, if you're gonna do a value area play, break into this, a pullback, touch this 50% expectation zone with the volume, pull back, and only unless I see a pullback will I want to go down further and take an attempt down here to the point of control. Okay, and that's more of the short term during the NY session um, that I will want to do now more on the bigger time frames or the bigger picture. Looking at the expansion box that I've drawn up here, lines up with Friday's settlement, which is 3323.25. Um, and we have the minus 25 expectation zone. And so I've kind of put those together. And as you can see, we've touched here. Um, and we've had a touch here as well. We had a gap here. So I'm not what I would like to see as a decision point tomorrow is I would like to see if we get past this POC or if once we get to settlement. I think settlement's really going to be a decision point uh, in regards to tomorrow um, or today rather for the NY session to see what happens. So that's your ES and be cognizant of that. Now let's go ahead and take a look at NQ. Let's take a look at the larger time frame on TOS. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, and we kind of had the same deal here on slash NQ. We have the trend down. Um, Kind of have a head and shoulders kind of pattern here, but I do see two legs down right here across the bottom and then a move up. So I wouldn't be surprised if we come to test at least this level right here, which is this leg right here. If I could draw a line across it, that or possibly depending on how crazy the day may be, or maybe over the next few days come and test the top of this range right here. There's also kind of, now I look at it, two tops here. So this kind of a range, same deal that we have going on with ES. So that's the larger time frame. Again, we're mid Keltners. So let's look at both scenarios up and down. Let's go to move our lower time frame on NinjaTrader 8. And we're going to go ahead and move over to NQ. And so as you can see, I made a play here. That was another reason for the delay. While I was marking up the charts, I took a couple points out of NQ. I got a couple points out of it tonight. It was basically a play out of the we came out of the value area box, um, and I went ahead and took my profit there. I could have gone for more. I could have put my stop below this swing here and took in profit at the 75% expectation zone. But hey, making money is better than losing money, right? So, and I wanted to get the plan together for you guys. So I got out the trade with some money, and I wanted to get this over to you guys. And it will officially be London in 1 minute. So with that being said, I'm going to see some volume here with London. It looks like we're going to break through this pocket, like we're going to break through the 75% expectation zone. Um, Now, what I would like to see is a break through of this volume pocket right here with the 75% expectation zone. What I would look is for that a pullback, and then I would at least take 25% of that move, lock it in, and then go for a target of the 100% expectation zone, and then lock, same thing, pull back, get in, so on and so forth. Now, if we're looking at the bigger picture with the expansion box, kind of like same deal that I did with ES. Um, what I'm seeing here is, again, we have, if we come back a couple of days, we have a touch over here and a touch here, okay, and then we had this breakdown here, but more importantly, we have a lot of interest here in this upper area up here. As you can see, prices, it seems to be attracted to this area, okay, and ultimately we fell out of it, but we worked our way back up, fell out of it, and now we kind of got this downtrend, and now we're moving back up. So to me, this will be a decision point, and that this will be the 150% expectation zone. I would here this is where I would take pause and really take a look at our lower time frames or look at our mean reversion Renkos, and see what's going on here, to see what we do, to see if we are able to get enough volume to push into this box, or if we get rejected and ultimately head back down. Okay, that's what I'm looking at with these expansion boxes. Now, as for the case on the way down for NQ, for the NY session, what I would look for, again, be cognizant of the highs and lows put in during the Globex session. Okay, once you're cognizant of that, I wouldn't be against same kind of thing with ES coming into the value area box, making a pullback, and then making a run for the 50% expectation zone, at least grabbing 25% of that, locking it, and then if you want, trying to go ahead and make the run for that 50% expectation zone. We got another volume pocket here, come down, retrace or pull back, POC, then you could ultimately do that. And if we go lower, pull back, come back, hit down, and then ultimately hit settlement down here at 1104, 11048.25, which is a Friday settlement, and it's well within the value area box. That would be a nice play if we're headed downward. On the bigger picture here, you can see that we have the minus 50% expectation zone, all the way to the 100% expectation zone, and we have a touch here, and we have another touch here. We have two touches there that line up with the minus 50% expectation zone. So this to me would be a decision point. I would like to see what price does here on the lower time frames of the mean reversion Renkos that we have, and see what we do there. I would like to see if we have a third touch and we reverse, or if we have a third touch break. That's what I'll be looking at. If we come here and for some reason can't break through, I would look for a pullback and come back higher. Or if we break through, I'll wait for a pullback on the minus 50% expansion, minus 50% expectation zone, and then ultimately come down lower, lock in 25% of that move, and then ultimately I would most likely target the minus 75% expectation zone. Okay, and that's the trade plan for NQ. Let's go ahead and look at YM. And let's do it on the larger time frame first. Let's move to TOS. All right, so this is the again the 4-hour on YM, and as you can see, I have some lines drawn up here. We kind of have like two lines, and I'm sure if I drew something up here, I could draw. There could be a midline somewhere across here. and it could be a wider down channel with a breakout here. We don't really have two tops that are exact or two bottoms. So it looks like we're headed higher. We're above the middle counter. So it looks like we want to head higher. But again, you got to learn to read the chart. And so, it all depends on what happens during the NY Open. But let's see the two scenarios on our more drilled down chart on the lower time frames in our NinjaTrader. So so for YM, what we got going on here, um, again, YM, if we're making the case for it to go higher, right now as you can see, there's a 15-minute candle forming down, and it's London, it's just opening. But if we're going higher, what I would like to see ultimately, let me get the full picture in here, is you can see that we have ultimately the expansion box up here, and as you can see, there's been interest here. We had what was support kind of become resistance, so it was support over here, and we kind of had like a skewed double top, congestion here, then a breakout, and now we're testing it, and this congestion right here has kind of become a resistance point for us on the more uh, bigger picture here. So yeah, if we're coming higher, I would like to see a break of the 100% expectation zone, a pullback, and then look for an entry, uh, or a pullback on our smaller time frame and or our mean reversion Renkos. Grab 25% of that move, and then look to lock in. And if you want to go ahead and take that 125, that 125 expectation zone, lock there and continue until you get to this decision point. Here again, I'd be interested in seeing what happens here to see if we can actually break past the 150 expectation zone, break into it, pull back, and then go higher. And that would be super sweet. Okay, but that's for the case for it to move higher. Now, if we want to look in the case for it to go lower, what I would say is, and as you can see right now, we have a nice candle forming there, as we're getting into London. But with that being the case, again for the NY session, if we're making the case to go down, um, what I would look for is to get through these pockets of volume. Okay, I would like to see a break of the minus 75% expectation zone. See a pullback, and we have nothing but a free fall here. We have no volume pockets, no value area, nothing of the sort. So I would look at least again for a 25, lock in 25% of that move, and ultimately try to head towards the minus, or not the minus, sorry, the plus 50 expectation zone. Okay, and then potentially lock in something here, and then see if we can break past this, get a retracement again, lower time frame mean reversion Renkos, and hit value area high. Then again, I see a lot more trouble here. As you can see, there's congestion. We got value area high. We got the 25% expectation zone, volume, a previous POC, and we have current day POC, and then we have settlement. So if it may be a challenge getting the settlement tomorrow, but again, in these crazy markets, you never know what's going to happen. Now, if we're looking at the expansion box that I've drawn, as you can see, we have two tests here on the box. Okay, we have two tests, and what I'm thinking is kind of if we come down and we have a third test, a decision point. Again, these decision boxes are more decision points for me to see what the market's going to do at them. So if I see a third hit of this box, I want to see what the market does. If it comes here, rejects it, and we go higher, or if we break into it, then I wouldn't be against a pullback and then heading lower to the into the expansion box. Okay, so that's it for the trade plan for Monday, September 14th, 2020. This is Joseph again from Primerus Trade, and come check us out. Reach us out on Facebook. We have our group on Facebook, and we would love to have you aboard. So hope you all have a good trading day tomorrow. Grab them ticks, and God bless you all.